So this is going to be part 3 of my original sin, why do you hate your natural hair videos. I just came across this post on Twitter. This is a high school in Nigeria from what the comments are saying. And all of these young girls have had their hair shaved off down to the scalp. And I know that it is a common practice in West Africa to have young schoolgirls with close cropped, short cropped hair. I've known that for a while. Definitely did not agree with the practice. I had no idea that they were just shaving them bald like this. This is such a violation. And in the comments, you see so many, there's a lot of men in the comments, a lot of Nigerian or African men defending it. Not surprised there, saying that their hair is a distraction, all of these things. If their hair is a distraction, then every young girl's hair would be a distraction. And then no young girl would be able to learn, but clearly that is not the case globally. This from the comments is not the only school that does this. This is a widespread practice. Some of the people in the comment section are saying that it also happens in Ghana. This was meant as a joke. I don't understand it, but if you click on it, you can see other African men, laugh emojis and haha, that's so funny. This is the degrading activity that happens inside the community that no one wants to talk about. Every single time we try to have a conversation about natural hair and Black women and what is going on, it is all deflected to, we're doing this, we're wearing the wigs and weaves because of white supremacy. We have women of the African diaspora have such a problem with our hair because our own community teaches us to have a problem with our hair, that it is a distraction, that it is ugly, that it is hard to manage, it is difficult. All of these things are happening inside the community. These girls didn't go to a white school and their hair is being shaved off. They're in a majority African country, majority, Black country. And this is what the Black people are doing to these young girls. Some of them looked really sad. And just, if you know anything about how genocidal regimes work, shaving off the hair is a big part of it. And that was done to African Americans in the United States. They did it to the Aborigines. They did it to Africans. They did it to Jewish people. There is something so disgustingly and disturbingly wrong about the African diaspora and how it treats girls and women. And what I also found interesting is the Nigerian and Ghanaian women who are commenting on this are saying that girls of different races who attend these schools do not have to shave their hair. Mixed race girls in these schools are often allowed to keep their hair. Someone said that there was an Asian student in one of these schools. She was allowed to keep their hair. Do you know what that does to a young girl? The precedent that sets, complex that gives a young girl, especially young Black girls, and then to have an entire community agreeing with this. Well, the little Asian girl, the little biracial girl, her hair isn't a distraction, but yours is. Your hair needs to be shaved to the scalp. This is so sick. And this, it eliminates bullying. That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. And I know that there is a big issue right now with older West African women not wanting to embrace their hair textures. Yeah, it screams slavery. That woman went viral for saying, like, don't wear your natural hair to my event. All of this is related. I wonder if she went through one of these schools, and I'm not excusing her comment, but it does make sense that if you go to a school where this is done to you, you will absolutely have trauma associated with your natural hair. And it's so sick how some of the men in the comment section are defending it, mostly men. This comment right here, hair shaved off clean in school, and it's definitely linked to why I'm obsessive over my hair and why my hairdresser today, that's serious trauma. And this is what I have been talking about inside of this Who Taught You to Hate Your Hair series. The trauma that you have about natural hair is coming from within the community. And until we as women of the African diaspora are willing to accept that the boogeyman isn't some white person running into our spaces telling us that we're ugly. It is Black and brown people. It is Black people telling us, other Black people telling us that our natural hair textures are ugly. until you are willing to sit with that truth, you will never get anywhere with your own hair journey, and also as we are having this collective hair journey. I also think that this practice is heavily linked to the female FGM that we see um, happening in these West African countries and in some of the, across the continent. All of this is linked together. And the fact that mixed race girls in these schools are often allowed to keep their hair, it's pretty obvious what's going on. And this also speaks to some of the issues that I brought up in other videos where Black women internalize the degrading things done to us, and they take out the anger on biracial women and girls, even though those biracial women and girls have no control over the fact that they were allowed to keep their hair. That's the adults making this decision. And now you have divided two groups of women that really should be allies, really have more in common than they are dissimilar. But you've created this original sin, this kernel of anger that many women carry with them their whole lives. I read another comment that said that in Jamaica, it can be similar, where the boys are forced to cut their hair, but the black boys are forced to cut their hair, but the boys of other races can grow it. This is sick. We are doing this to our own people. We are doing this to our own children. And until more of us across the diaspora speak up and say something about this and point out how disgusting and disturbing these practices are, they will continue. This is abuse. This is abuse. And you can't defend it. It doesn't make any sense, especially when the receipts, especially when we know that other girls of other races can go to this school and keep their hair. What the fuck does that say? It says that Africans are either so deeply colonized across the world that we can't appreciate our own features, or it says that we really just hate ourselves and we've been carrying around this internalized hate since before the Europeans. And I think that it's a little column A, little column B. In one of my last videos, I talked about how colorism and featureism didn't just pop up when Europeans arrived. There were existing issues between tribal groups in Africa, and pretending that these tribal nations didn't have hierarchies amongst themselves, didn't feel certain kinds of ways about other groups is asinine. That's a fantasy, and it is playing out right before us. You are shaving the hair off the little girls. If you don't think that this sticks with these young girls for the rest of their lives and doesn't create a complex or issues, then you are being willfully obtuse and you actually want these outcomes to happen. This is another original sin. This is another instance of us seeing where these issues really come from inside the community, and it starts at home. This is not a school run by Europeans. This is a school run by Africans, and this is what they have chosen to do to African girls, and only the African girls. Definitely check out this post. This is the original post. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think.